it's Mary. I hope that you are doing well. Thank you so much for joining me today, where we are here to talk about this book, Even If We Break, by Marieke Nijcamp. This book kept me interested, reading on to the end so I could discover if my suspicions about who was behind it all were correct. And the story is about 5 friends: Finn, Ever, Carter, Maddie, and Leva. And they are spending a weekend together at a cabin in the woods. For the past 3 years, they've been playing a game together, but recently they have been growing apart from one another. So the weekend's an opportunity to get together and play one more time before 3 of them go off to college. It's also an opportunity for them to reconnect. They are each dealing with challenges alone. They no longer trust one another enough to share their issues with one another. But as the weekend progresses, it is apparent that someone knows their secrets. And that someone has very different plans for the weekend. Will they be able to trust one another enough to survive the weekend? This book reminded me a great deal of the Agatha Christie classic, And Then There Were None. What are some other options for a similar reading experience? I'm glad you asked. Vanishing Girls by Lauren Oliver. Dara and Nick were inseparable. Now, the 2 sisters aren't speaking, and Nick is determined to get back everything that she's lost. When Dara vanishes, Nick thinks that she's just playing around. But another girl is reported missing, and as Nick searches for her sister, she is convinced that the 2 disappearances are connected. Sadie by Courtney Summers. Sadie's life has not been easy. She has been raising her little sister Maddie in a small isolated town on her own. Then Maddie is found dead, and the investigation into her murder is botched. With her entire world crumbling, Sadie is determined to find and bring the killer to justice. Wes McCrae, a radio personality, overhears Sadie's story and becomes obsessed with finding the missing girl. He begins a podcast as he follows Sadie's journey, hoping to find her before it's too late. This story alternates between Sadie's point of view and the transcripts of the podcast, tracking the clues Sadie has left behind. Imaginary Girls by Nova Ren Suma. Chloe's sister Ruby is the girl everyone looks to and longs for. After a night with Ruby and her friends goes wrong, Chloe discovers the body of one of her classmates floating in a reservoir. Chloe is sent away from Ruby and away from home, but Ruby will do anything to get her back. When Ruby returns home, she finds a precarious balance and deadly surprises awaiting her. So there you are. I'm currently reading my next February book, A Song of Wraiths and Ruin, which was written by Roseanne A. Brown. And I will be back next week to talk about that book. Until then, I hope that you enjoy whatever you read, and thank you so much for joining me today.